Independent films, or indies, used to just lurk in the sidelines of the Filipino film industry. Art films, good enough for film festivals abroad, but not for showing here, because they simply won't sell. A film about a hot-tempered general is changing all these, breaking Philippine box office records. So when an indie like Heneral becomes a bigger hit than mainstream Pinoy movies, is an industry revolt in the making?
Independent films or indies do not follow the usual formula. No big stars, no predictable romance and comedy plots. Usually, indie filmmakers concentrate on delivering a message or to show off their craft.
Anong masasabi nyo kay Heneral Luna?
Napag-alaman namin na may masama siyang balak.
Hindi gusto ng ilang politiko at negosyante ang iyong pamamalakad.
Bayan o sarili, pumili ka!
Heneral Luna did both.
Wala ba sa inyo mga bayan?
Parahas.
Kailangan may gawin tayo sa baliw na lunang yun.
Pabayaan mo akong magturo ng tamang...
It also did what no indie in the Philippines has done before, become a hit at the box office.
Tugad mga kababayan!
But for Heneral Luna, success did not happen overnight. It took a while before producers picked it up.
Walang nakaangat sa batas, kahit na presidente.
General, baka may makadinig.
Eh di makinig sila.
Eduardo Rocha and Fernando Ortigas were the producers of the film.
Well, I wrote it with Henry Francia 18 years ago. It went through various incarnations, rewrites, different producers, different changes, and none of them panned out. I think the script was waiting to fall into the hands of Gerald Tarog and then Nando Ortigas.
When I read the script, it's the same thing. I felt a roller coaster of emotions, from happy, sad, anger, and that's rarely, it rarely gets me when I see a movie that way.
And that's when it happened. Nando gave his full support to the film, and the ball started rolling. We asked them the inevitable question, why John Arcilla? The director himself was impressed with John Arcilla, and during the auditions, he easily saw John portraying Heneral Luna's fiery character.
There was this glint of madness in his eyes when I saw him first in the movie Metro Manila, and then when he came into audition. That glint of madness was the whole thing that sold it to me, that he was really perfect for the role. It was Heneral Luna standing in front of us.
There was a frenzy of preparations, from locations and period costumes to the rigorous selection of not just the actors, but the production staff as well. The choice of actors was crucial. The producers did not intend Heneral Luna to be a history lesson. They tried to present Luna as a person, with his greatness and his flaws. And all the other characters were presented as they were as well, with no good guys or bad guys, just their own stories to tell.
Pasensya ka na, Heneral Luna. Hindi ko matatanggap ang iyong pagbibitiw.
Pero hindi yan
Ikaw lang ang maaaring mamuno ng ating hukbo.
Another thing that was a game-changing here, we didn't present Luna as a hero. It was more of an anti-hero. Neither did we present the other guys as contravidas or villains. We presented them as anti-villains because you have to have conflict.
Pagpasyahan na ninyo ang plano kong magtayo ng kuta sa norte. Ito lang ang pag-asa natin laban sa mga Amerikano.
Everyone stood by their beliefs. Some people made wrong decisions, but it wasn't only the bad guys. Also the good guy made a lot of mistakes.
It showed Filipinos as they were before and as they are now. And for many, it was an eye-opener.
We did it on purpose, that it's a movie that tells a lot about what's happening then, but everything that's happening then is also happening now.
Humihingi ako ng katiyakan ng katapatan ninyo. Maasahan ko ba kayo?
Oo, Senyor Presidente!
Politically speaking, and with regards to how Filipinos treat each other, the infighting, the sense of betrayal, the disunity.
Saan nyo
napapagkatiwalaan ng taong katulad nito? Dati niyang kasabwat ang Espanya. Kung may ganito na tayo sa pangkat natin, di na natin kailangan ng kaaway.
In the movie, Felipe Buencamino was played by none other than Noni Buencamino, a direct descendant of Aguinaldo's cabinet member.
He's been branded as one of the traitors in history, because he was for federalism or the Philippines being a protectorate of America during that time.
Amerikano. Si Antonio Luna ay malupit, abusado, mayabang.
Hindi pang lalait ang totoo.
Although Luna brands him as a traitor, Noni said he played Felipe as simply going for what he believes to be good for the country.
Ng Pilipinas, pinag-uutos ko na arestuhin ang traidor na ito.
But did he actually plot the assassination?
No, struggling with his beliefs, struggling with what he believed was the best thing to do for himself and for his country.
Huwag nating kalilimutan na iniwan ni Luna ang kanyang pwesto sa pagbag. Kaya nasakop ito ng mga Amerikano.
Yes, I was part of it. Yes, I knew that he was going to be eliminated and assassinated. I knew, but I did not expect that he was going to be killed that way. That he was going to be hacked to death.
Hanggang kailan tayo makikipaglaban? Ang dami nang namatay. At kulang tayo sa pera, sa armas, sa kagamitan.
Another supposed traitor who wanted peace with the Americans was Pedro Paterno, played by Leo Martinez.
Ako si Pedro Paterno, isang original balimbing, sip-sip kay Aguinaldo.
I think this is the first film that I experienced na everybody had learned something from the movie.
Whether they were indeed traitors really depends on who is writing history.
Was it faithful to Philippine history? I would say, well, I couldn't care less. It's a film. It's a reflection of our history. It's an interpretation of our history. If it's accurate, well and good. If it's not, then it's a film.
It's not really a history movie. It's about the Filipinos themselves. So the whole point is not historical accuracy, but what it says about the Philippines.
The film was mainly based on UP professor Vivencio Arjose's The Rise and Fall of Antonio Luna. Loosely based would be more appropriate. So how did the movie affect the viewing public?
What was a game changer here is actually the social media. It was the very first socially media-propelled film to be patronized in public by the moviegoers. It was that even though you are not a typical social media enthusiast, then because of the rave that it was able to solicit, you too were intrigued to go to watch the film.
As director of the Film Academy of the Philippines, Leo Martinez is hoping the film will be noticed by the Academy Awards or the Oscars.
We are one of the 80-plus countries that submitted, that were accepted by the Oscar committee. By January, they will reduce it further to 5, and those will be the finalists.
With Heneral Luna's success, local movie makers hope the game will finally change for the better.
Kung magiging isang bansa man tayo, kailangan natin ng isang radikal na pagbabago. Mga kapatid, mayroon tayong mas malaking kaaway kaysa mga Amerikano. Ang ating sarili.
But here, Heneral Luna has already proven itself. We don't need the Oscars to tell us how a small indie film can provoke introspection, anger, even hatred, and unbridled patriotism all at the same time. Bayan o sarili? Now that's a game changer. Up next, how Filipino animators are making their presence felt in far-off Hollywood. Are you a game changer? Do you know somebody who is? Are there ideas or concepts that are changing lives in your community? Simply click her website and help us spread these inspiring stories.